Today we dig deep into hard red spring wheat. We will look at the Minneapolis Grain Exchange futures as well as Canadian Western red spring wheat cash prices. My name is Trent Klarenbach with Klarenbach Research. Today is January the 18th, 2025. And the first chart we will look at is the weekly nearby hard red spring wheat futures contract on the Minneapolis Grain Exchange. It is using the March 25 price as the contract as the price. So here we are. You can take a look at this chart here, and this is quite a significant downtrend, really, from back in May of 2022. That's really very little reprieve from this downtrend. But interestingly enough, we're starting to find some slowdown in the downtrend. Maybe it's not unlike what we're seeing here, maybe back here, but we're seeing a slowdown in the downtrend. And why is that? Well, if we look back here in the past, back to 2020 and 2019, 2018, well, this area here has been a significant, important level. It's acted as resistance, support, resistance, and now it's providing some level of support. So will that continue in the future? It remains to be told. And right now, this chart is a bearish looking chart by my definition. We're below our, green 50-week moving average, and that's in decline. Overhead's a purple 200-week moving average. That's starting to flatten out and starting to decline also. So this chart is anything but bullish. In fact, I would say it's bearish. I am neutral until we start making lower lows below that 570 level. So I'm neutral right now on the futures on the weekly chart until we make lower lows. Let's take a look at the daily chart. And the daily chart here is very similar actually to the weekly chart. We're seeing some consolidation. We're below our moving averages. I'm going to kind of zoom in here a little bit. Geez, having troubles. But anyways, here we are. This purple moving average is the 50-day moving average. And that's very important to me as a trend follower. We're also below our 10 and 20-day moving averages as well. In fact, we're finding some buyers stepping at the 10-day moving average yesterday. So right now, this chart does not look, it is not bullish by my definition. And I'm neutral, so I start making lower lows, neutral on the daily until we, break below, say 575 or say 570 for a round number. But right now that chart is not giving us any reasons to be bullish. But let's take a look at the member area on our Klarenbach.ca website. This member area is for paid subscribers. And you will see that CWRS, I am bullish in the next 1 to 2 weeks, the next 2 to 4 weeks. I'm bearish after that as I respect the long-term downtrend. But you're asking yourself, why am I bullish on the prairies and bearish on the futures contract, or neutral on the futures contract, tending to be bearish? Now, the reason is it boils down to the basis, which makes up a number of components, one of which is the exchange rate, and our weakening Canadian dollar is certainly supporting Canadian prices. But why am I bullish? Well, if you take a look at this, and this is our KPI, our Klarenbach Price Index, the current price is 779, but you look over here, that is the high of the crop year. So we just made new weekly closing highs on the Klarenbach Price Index for Saskatchewan. Now, this is relevant to Alberta and Manitoba as well, but you can see that, we're making new closing highs. So on the weekly time frame. So, what happens after new highs? Well, often new highs lead to more new highs. So we need to be bullish. There's no use being bearish when you're making new highs. But let's look at the chart so you can see a little better what I'm looking at. This is a weekly logarithmic chart. I prefer to draw my trend lines on log charts. And most technicians use a log chart for their analysis. Not necessary, but often many of us do. So I draw some trend lines here. You can see now we're testing this upper trend line for the third time. Now, will that trend line bring in some sellers? I think it probably will. But interestingly enough, we're back testing that 50-week moving average overhead. So the moving averages are longer term are still in decline. So I think this thing could go sideways before it has any chance of really making a significant move to the upside. But we're making new highs on the crop year. I have to be bullish when that happens. And here is our daily chart. And we had not making new highs on the daily chart, but we're battling with this 200-day moving average, and we keep getting rejected from it. But right now we're closed above it. And each time we tested that, the selling steps gets weaker and the sellers become exhausted. How many people are looking at this chart? I don't know, but it's amazing how these moving averages and these technical indicators and oscillators work for, low volume, maybe cash markets as well. And that's reasons why that could be is open for discussion. And I love sharing information on that or my opinion on that. So if you're interested, reach out to me. This is our daily log chart again, and you can see, we're finding support from this green 50-day moving average, which is rising. We're, finding some resistance, but it looks like we're maybe get a chance to break above this 200-day moving average. And when we're above it, a flat to rising 200-day moving average, we have to become bullish. But why is there divergence between the cash price and the futures price charts? And you can see that our basis just keeps climbing. This is a basis for Saskatchewan. It's relevant to Manitoba and Alberta as well. But you can see we just keeps rising, and that's changing the chart. On the cash chart is changing it relative to the futures chart, which is why I am bullish. So how high will this go? Well, I don't know, but this is measured in tons. But some people are speculating $3 basis on the bushel. So we'll see what happens going forward. But right now, the charts are telling me to stay long. We're making new highs on the prairies, and that's telling me to stay long in the bid. Now that could change, but until that changes, until we start making lower lows, then we have to assume the trend remains higher. My name is Trent Klarenbach. It's sunny in Saskatoon. Life's good.